Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today's Friday. So, got home from work. I drove the 07, drove awesome. She drives great, fires right up. 07 is doing great. So, then whenever I got home, I already had that transmission loaded up in the trunk from the other day. It was a core. So, I went ahead and took it over to Danny's, returned it, got my core. So it's 25 bucks. And then on the way back, I like romped on it a little bit, and it just doesn't have the get up that it should. And like, I don't hear any vacuum leaks or anything. It's not throwing any codes. No check engine light at all. Didn't misfire or anything. So I'm like, I don't get it. So since I just put these brand new Denso Iridium TT plugs in the 07, the ones that I just took out really weren't bad. I mean, they still look good. They were a little dirty, but they're cleaning up nice. So I already swapped cylinder 5, and this was the original. It's just the AC Delco, just not even an Iridium, but it had a little corrosion on the end. I kind of wiped it off, but look at that one, super corroded. I haven't even got that one off yet. But I have a feeling that's how all of them are going to be. It's pretty corroded like that. And then as I'm pulling the wires off, all this corrosion is falling out from inside the plug wire. So just wanted to give you guys a little update on that. But yeah, I'm going to keep getting these pulled out and swapped around with these other ones I'm cleaning up. And then I got 3 more still in those that I have to wire wheel and get those 3 cleaned up. But I'm going to get this cylinder 3 plug out, pop one of these in, and give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so I've got the front 3 replaced, and I've got the other 3 for the rear nice and cleaned up. So now I just gotta climb up here and get to the cylinders 2, 4, and 6 and get those wires popped off and get those old plugs out and get these put in, and we'll see how much better she runs. And then also Steve commented and said that this belt was bad, and sure enough, yeah, it's junk. So went by the storage, and I'm pretty sure that this here is a brand new factory replacement Supercharger belt, 6PK 1840. So pretty sure that's the same belt. So I'm gonna end up swapping out the belt. That way it has a brand new belt on it, and that will fix that issue there. And then hopefully she runs a hell of a lot better. She definitely has some bad lower intake manifold gaskets, because I see it's wet down here under the alternator, coming out the lower intake manifold bolt, one of them. And then this one down here, it was like full the other day and was boiling and bubbling. And there's definitely, I power washed this and it was all dry, and it's right below the lower intake and coming out the side of that gasket there, right there into the corner there. So it's definitely going to need some lower intake manifold gaskets, and it definitely needs valve cover gaskets, which I have all that in the kit. Yeah, all of that's in here. So I've got valve cover gaskets in here. I've got lower intake manifold gaskets in here. I've got all the O-rings. I've got valve seals. There's the lower intake manifold gaskets, or the valve cover gaskets, I mean. I've got water pump gasket, got a front seal, throttle body gasket, supercharger gasket, exhaust manifold, crossover pipe gasket. I mean, I've got everything. So the only thing I don't have is head gaskets, but the head gaskets seem to be good. So I'm thinking it's just the lower intake manifold gaskets and the valve cover gasket. So I'm probably going to try to get all that stuff swapped around sometime this weekend, since I have everything. And I'm probably going to end up having to replace this, because it's been broken, like JB welded, and this is just a piece of hose, and it had a stick in it, and I pulled the stick out and put this little rubber cap on it, and I had to leave the piece of hose in there because the rubber cap wouldn't, fit it snug to the T-tree piece there, so just kind of doing what I got to do. And then also when I went by the storage after work today, I grabbed that sensor that I broke on the 07 since I robbed it off the 06 last night. Then I went and robbed the one off the Grand Am supercharged engine for the 06. And then I can always just get another sensor since that engine's just sitting. I'm waiting for harness and stuff, so it's not going to be running anytime soon. So I went ahead and just snagged that sensor and got it on the 06, and it fires right up, runs good. So going pretty well. I've got the 06 is driving good, the 07's driving good, Bonneville's driving good. It's just some little stuff. So I'm gonna, I guess, go ahead and get these 3 rear plug wires out and get these plugs out, and I'll give you guys another update. Okay, you guys, so these are the front 3 that came out. You see they're all corroded. And these are the back 3. They're all corroded as well. They are all AC Delco, number 14. They don't look to be super old, but they're not iridiums. And they're just all corroded, so I've got all the other ones replaced. You can see the corrosion I was talking about on the boot right there. And yeah, cylinder 4 is heat shield. Wherever it went, I tossed it out here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's got a really bad leak from the valve cover on the rear. So I'm going to get in the shed and grab me another cleaner, heat shield, and pop it back on here, and then I can pop it back on the plug, and that'll be all 6, and then we can see if she runs any better. So y'all give me just a few. I'm going to go grab this other heat shield and get this together, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, y'all, so I just went over in the shed, got me a nice cleaner one. I also have another crank pulley if I end up needing to replace the crank pulley. I don't think I need to. It didn't look like it was wobbling or anything, but this belt definitely needs to go. So I'm gonna get this plugged in, and then grab the belt tool and the 15 and get this old junk belt off and get this nice new one on, and then I'll give you guys another update and we'll start her up. So y'all stay tuned. Alright, you guys, so I just swapped out the Supercharger belt with the brand new one. So I was actually wrong. I grabbed the belt tool with the 15 because that's what it is for all the other 3/8, but this one, it's actually a T50 Torx bit and a slim ratchet, and that's it. And you put it on reverse, and you ratchet it forward like towards the firewall to loosen it, and then tighten it and pull it towards the radiator support to tighten it. But it went pretty easy. So looks like I didn't get the belt on all the way down there on the crank pulley, so I'm gonna have to pull that back and make sure that's on all the way. But man, I'm super excited. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. So I guess I'm gonna fix this belt, and then we'll do a startup, see if she runs any better. Alright, y'all, so I've got the belt adjusted and got it all the way on to the crank pulley. Everything looks good, nice and tight. All my plug wires are plugged in. Everything should be good, so I'm gonna fire her up, see how she runs. There we go. Fuel range, 83 miles. that's crazy. Watch that hose. You can see it's trying to suck in that nipple. Well, it sounds like it runs a lot better, but it's hard to tell. It's shaking quite a bit, so. Definitely seeing antifreeze in the lower intake manifold. Lots of that one. Damn, look at that O-ring. It's busted. Yeah, she definitely needs a lot of work, but seems to run great. So I'm happy she has a good engine. So I guess I'm gonna pick some stuff up and go give it a test drive, and I'll give you guys another update. Damn, guys, she runs great. So I'm super happy with the progress. Like, for just having all this stuff laying around and being my old spark plugs out of the 07, like, seems to run great. I'm thinking maybe this the transmission mount on this side, and I know for sure that front one, and maybe even the rear one as well. I have all the other ones in the trunk, but something definitely needs to happen with the rest of them, because it's still just shaking like no other, and there's got to be something else going on with it. It's not just gonna shake like that and be clunking and everything from good mounts, and it moves quite a bit, and I already know for sure the front one's bad because I've already seen it move up and down. So I need to go to the salvage and get another front mount. They were like closing right as I got there to give them the core transmission. So luckily I got my core back and was able to drop off that transmission. But yeah, that's probably going to be it for now. So, well, until I go test driver. So let me get all this stuff picked up and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I'm over at the house. I got the Bonneville turned around, and I'm about to start swapping a couple things. I want to swap out this T-tree piece because, like I said, this one, it just doesn't want to seal on there, and it was making this weird noise. And then this piece was broke off and JB welded, so I have this brand new one from ZZP. It was like 80 bucks. And then I have another one, and it already has a cap on there, and it's nice and snug. So I'm going to swap both of those out. It's just some 10 millimeters on both. So that's really quick and simple and easy, and get those swapped around.
Well, that wasn't even tight.
And then I'm going to see
not even tight.
how it dries or how it runs, see if it runs any better with those being fixed. And but yeah, I'm probably going to start tearing her down. I just want to see if this helps it run any better. So y'all give me a few. I'm gonna get these swapped around and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, guys, so got the sensor or solenoid swapped out, and the T-tree. Had to put a different vacuum line on here because this one was coming off the front and that older one was coming off like this. So I had to get a longer piece, and then I don't have another piece for this one. It's a little dry rotted, but it should work. And then I also replaced this. It was, where'd those pieces go? Yeah, it was like this. They just made a 3-way piece, but I had one, so I got that on there. I'm gonna see if it runs any better. So let's see what we got. Still barely even goes to 0 pounds of booze.
That heater core line sure.
Oh, I know. I'm pretty sure it's just clogged. Alright. Well, didn't really fix anything. But I'm sure she definitely needs a lot of gaskets, so I guess I'll let her cool off for a few, and then I'm gonna jack her up, get her on jack stands, drain the oil, drain the coolant, and then I'll start tearing her apart. And so y'all stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, you guys, so I've got the air filter out and the breather disconnected from the throttle body. I did swap around the T-tree piece and that, but it didn't really seem to make a difference. So she's been cooling off for about 20 minutes. I just got that part off right there. I did get the battery out and disconnected from under the back seat, so it has no power. So I'm going to start disconnecting everything and start pulling her apart. So y'all stay tuned and I'll give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so I got the supercharger belt off. I've got the fuel rail all disconnected. I've got most of the wiring all disconnected, so I'm about ready to pull the supercharger off. I've got everything unplugged from the throttle body. I've got the throttle cable and cruise cable disconnected. I've got everything unplugged, so I think all I have to do is just unbolt this map bracket. It's a 10mm right there. That one right there. And then I've got, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one up here on the EGR 5. That one there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 total holding the supercharger on. Then I'll be able to pop the supercharger off and see what this lower intake's looking like. So y'all give me a minute and I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so I got all the supercharger bolts out. They're all sitting right there. Got the supercharger off. It's sitting over here. The gasket was just junk. That's probably why it wasn't making any boost. The whole gasket's just soaked and was just falling apart. Like look, it came off in like 10 different pieces. A bunch of it's still stuck on the lower intake. This thing is nasty dirty. But it's alright. It's all coming apart anyways, so we're gonna get it fixed up nice. I'm gonna get it put back together. David's gonna bring me those. He has those brand new head gaskets, and since I have that brand new set of head bolts, then I'm gonna go ahead and pull the heads off, get everything cleaned up, do the valve seals, and do the head gaskets with the brand new head bolts. And that's why I'm gonna drain the coolant and drain the oil. That way nothing gets mixed and I don't have to worry about nothing. I can power wash everything, get everything all nice and cleaned up. I have all the gaskets to get it all put back together with some fresh gaskets and seals and O-rings and everything. So whenever it's all back together, she should be good to go and be running great. So that's pretty much the plan. Is I'm gonna pull everything apart, redo the engine. I don't know if I'm gonna paint shit or not. I'm not for sure yet, but I'm gonna get everything torn apart, get everything cleaned up. I may paint, I may not, and I want to get everything put back together just to make sure that she runs good and she's making boost and she's healthy. And then once it's all healthy, then I'll be more confident with having the engine. And I mean, I already know it runs good. Like, we drove back 2.5 hours from Kansas, and then I drove it around for a couple days. So I know it runs and it drives and it shifts good and everything. So there's no issues there. It's just not making boost, and so I want to see what's going on. So I'm going to keep tearing her down. I've got to pull this alternator bracket with the coolant elbows off so I can get the lower intake off. But I think before I do anything, I'm going to get the shop vac and suck all this gunk off that I can. And then once I get all that out, wow. Yeah, and then once I get all the gunk out, then I'll use the air compressor and I'll blow the rest of the crap out so I can pull the injectors out of the injector holes, and I won't have to worry about crap falling down in there. Even though the heads are coming off anyways, I don't want to fuck anything up. So Yep, I'm gonna go grab the vacuum, the shop vac, and the air compressor, and run some power over here and get this stuff sucked out and blown off and start getting this shit taken apart, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so I used the air compressor and just put a rag in the holes and just blew out what I could around the injectors and out of the lower intake manifold. I did take paper towels and soaked up all the fuel and antifreeze that had leaked down in there as much as I could. And so now it's just going to be pulling all these lower intake manifold bolts out. And I've got to remove the crossover pipe to get to that EGR bolt there to 13. And I've just got to remove that whole tube. So I've got to remove the crossover pipe, then remove that tube. And then I don't have to remove the alternator bracket because I can slide the lower intake out of the slide that coolant elbow out of the lower intake. I can just take it and slide the whole thing this way towards the driver's side, but I have to remove this crossover pipe and that EGR tube. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and if that gives me trouble, then I'll just go ahead and pull that whole bracket off and pull that belt off. It should go pretty simple and easy, and get that out of the way. It's just probably gonna have to come off anyways to pull the valve cover, so yeah, I might as well. And I'm gonna have to pull this coil pack bracket because it kind of covers up the front valve cover just a little bit right there. So this got to come off. I guess that's gonna have to come off. This gonna have to come off, but it's all good. It's one step at a time. So I'm gonna keep working on this thing, get more of this taken apart, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright y'all, so got the lower intake manifold out. The gaskets are just trashed, as you can see. Yeah, gaskets were trash. So those are off. Lower intake, it had some gunk build up on it.
See that double wide there next to it.
So yeah, this is gonna have to get power washed. I gotta get this off, get a new gasket on there, get it RTV'd. Gotta clean up all the bolts. So now I've still gotta pull the alternator bracket with the alternator. I'm gonna pull the coil pack bracket off, get the valve covers off, and start getting the head bolts broke free. And then I'll give you guys another update. Alright YouTube, so I've got the front valve cover off. I've got the front exhaust manifold off. It's all laying right here. So on this Bonneville, it has this heat shield that bolts on right here with a 15 millimeter. You got to go underneath the coolant hose right there and bolt that on. Then your dipstick goes in down there, and it has this 10 millimeter bolted on here. And I ended up breaking the damn oil dipstick trying to get that shit out because I didn't know it was bolted to that heat shield. So I've got to get another dipstick tube for it, which I have one over at the storage, so no big deal. But man, this thing looks like they did not do regular oil changes on it, like ever. It's pretty gunky in here, so... But I'm about to break all these head bolts free and then get all of them out, and I'll just pull the head out, or pull the head off. I'm just going to leave the rockers bolted onto it, and then I'll just pull all the push rods out one at a time and keep them in the order that they come out in, and everything should be good to go from there. So y'all give me a few minutes. I'm going to get this head pulled off of here, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so sun's starting to go down. It's about to be dark in like 30 minutes, so I popped the trunk. I'm starting to get everything picked up. This is my trash pile here, minus the roll of paper towels. But so I'm going to probably go take the head over and power wash it with the lower intake manifold and the valve cover, and probably the supercharger. And then all this other stuff is just going to go in the trunk and get put up for now. And then once I get everything else cleaned up, then I'll go ahead and get those stacked back in there as well. And then the injectors that David brought me are going to go back on because they were a lot nicer and newer looking than these. And I've got brand new O-rings for the tops and bottoms, all 6. Like I've got a full gasket set. And now David brought me the head gasket, so I'm going to have to order him another set. But now I've at least got the head gaskets. So now I've got everything I need to fully put this engine back together.
Bro, come check out how clean this block is coming.
Hell yeah. Nice. Yeah, I never did drain the coolant out, so it's still got a bunch of coolant in there. And I haven't drained the oil out yet either, but it's coming. I wanted to finish getting all this taken apart, but it's going to be dark and there's no light out here. So once it's dark, it's going to be pitch black over here.
It's dark.
Yeah, so I'm going to, I guess, let David keep scraping and doing what he's doing, and I'm going to start getting all this stuff picked up and put in the trunk, and I'll give you guys another update whenever I grab the power washer out and start getting some stuff cleaned up. Alright you guys, so I got a lot of it picked up. I just have the supercharger, the lower intake, the valve cover, and this head. I'm going to take the push rods and put those in there. But I want to power wash and clean up the head, the lower intake, the valve cover, and the supercharger. And just start getting all that old gasket material off of both sides. Get all this gunk and grime off. Clean it out completely. Try to get everything all nice and cleaned up. And ready to start going back together. So then probably tomorrow when I get off work, or when we get off work, I'll come home and I'll pull this alternator bracket off and get this rear head and rear exhaust manifold undone and get all that off and get this thing completely torn down so I can get everything all cleaned up, and then start getting this thing put back together. And then I was also debating on, once I get both heads and everything all off, I was debating on just pulling the engine out and just unbolting the AC compressor, unbolting the power steering pump, pulling the engine out, and then I could throw it on the stand and, you know, pop the oil pan off, do the rear main seal, get the timing cover off, do the front seal and the timing cover, and, you know, gasket and new water pump gasket, all that, just so everything's nice and fresh and I don't have to worry about anything leaking later on down the road. And then once I get it all refreshed, I can plop it back in here, make sure everything's good to go, it runs good and everything, it's making boost. And then I can pull it all out as one unit and know that everything's gonna be good to go and everything's nice and refreshed. And it'll be just waiting to go into whatever I decide I want to put it into. So I'm gonna finish getting this stuff taken over there by the shed so I can get the power washer out and get that stuff power washed and just pick up the rest of these tools, and probably going to call it a night after this. So y'all stay tuned and I'll give you guys another update before I start power washing. Alright you guys, so I've got the front head and the valve cover all nice and cleaned up. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than what they were. And then I went ahead and hit the supercharger. I didn't hit the underneath side, but I did make sure to get the snout all around really good. And I got the lower intake manifold as best I can. I'm going to have to probably scrub it with the wire brush and get into all those crevices to get it all nice and cleaned up. But for the most part, it cleaned up really well. So now it's just going to be probably just going to shove everything in the shed for tonight. Get the power washer put back up. I made a huge mess back here. All this was just black from the oil and stuff. So I went ahead and power washed all this off, as you can see the line there. But I went ahead and power washed all this off just to clean it up some. So now I just got to go turn the water off and get this thing all put up and back in the shed. Get the supercharger and the head and everything in the shed, and probably going to call it a night. So I guess that's going to be it for this one for now. So y'all stay tuned and give you guys another update. Hey YouTube, so today's Wednesday. Yesterday it just piston poured around 11 or so, and just rained all night, so I didn't get anything done yesterday. And then it got to work for a couple hours this morning, but it was raining, and so finally my boss just said go home, and now it stopped raining. So now at least I can get some more progress done on this. I've had some interest in the transmission and in the front clip, so I'm messaging a couple people. So I'm debating on just pulling the whole engine out and then being able to pull the transmission out. And but I really want to put this thing back together and hear it run, but I need to do the rear seal and the timing cover and the front seal and all that, so really it needs to come out. So I don't know, I'm just debating, but for now, until I actually have someone here with cash really wanting to buy this thing, then I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing, and I'm going to get this EGR unbolted from the head, and that way I can get the head off. I got to get the rear exhaust manifold off. I got to get this belt off and get the alternator bracket off so I can get the valve cover, and then be able to unbolt the head. So it's going to take me probably a good hour to get everything off, but I'm going to get some stuff done, make some progress, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so I got the belt off and I got the bolts out, and so I'm about to get the heater hoses disconnected from the alternator bracket. And then I was just sitting here and I noticed this. I was like, holy shit, look at this power cable. That thing is horrible. And that's the direct power from the battery power to the starter. That's crazy. So yeah, that definitely needs to be taped up or something. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm about to use these here channel locks and get these clamps off, and then I can remove this alternator bracket out of my way, and then I can get that EGR valve disconnected and start getting back here to this rear exhaust manifold. So y'all stay tuned. Alright you guys, so I got the alternator bracket off, and here is one good reason why you should always pay attention to where your bolts go. So you see this bolt in this alternator bracket, and you see how dirty that is. That's because whoever worked on this prior to me buying it put the wrong bolt back in and went right into the valve cover. And I got everything unbolted and disconnected and was trying to pull the alternator and the bracket off, and I couldn't even get it off because it was threaded into the valve cover. So now I have to get another rear valve cover for the supercharged engine, which I don't know if I even have one. So yeah, just one good thing, pay attention to what you guys are doing if you're working on your own stuff, or even if you're working on someone else's stuff. Just make sure you keep all your bolts with whatever part you're pulling off, put it in a bag and label it if you have to. See, just like these, I know these three go with this. So if I wasn't 100% for sure where those went, then yeah, they would go in a bag and I would write on it with Sharpie, alternator bracket. So I know those are the bolts that go to that. And that way you're not fucking shit up like this that you don't need to be fucking up, because then you're just causing yourself more issues. So, or someone else more issues later on down the line. So yeah, just learn from this person's mistakes, and now because someone else made this mistake, I have to deal with it because I bought the car. So I'm gonna keep working on this thing. I've got to get this bracket here off. It's a couple bolts down on the exhaust manifold studs, and then once I get that off, I have to take this little hook here off, and then I'll be able to get that rear exhaust manifold off. I also have to either disconnect the exhaust from the rear manifold, or I can just unbolt the manifold and push it back. As long as I can get to those head bolts, that's all that matters. So I'm going to keep working on this thing and give you guys another update here shortly. Well damn guys, it started raining on me. So I'm taking a break until it stops raining, and then I'll go start working on it some more. So I guess I'm gonna throw this hood back on the parts car to have someone interested in this transmission as well. So I'm gonna throw this hood back on here. I'm gonna get in the shed. I'm gonna grab that head with that valve cover, and I brought my little valve spring compressor tool I made out of a nail bar, and I'm gonna pull all the valve springs off one at a time, replace the valve seals, put them back together. So yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff out of here, and I'm gonna work on that while it's still raining, and then once it stops raining, I'll go finish pulling that other rear head off. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I got all of the valve seals swapped around. I already put the damn cover on, but I got all the valve seals swapped around, and also the retainers. All the ones that are on there were really dirty and grimy. I had these off of the 06 whenever I put on the 90-pound valve springs, and those were the original ones, and they were a lot cleaner than the ones that are on it. So I just gave them a quick wipe down, swap those out, reuse the valve locks. But so this valve cover is cracked right here. It's cracked here on this side. It's cracked here on this end. And it's cracked up here on this side. And then you've seen the rear valve cover, it's got the huge hole in it. So I'm gonna have to find 2 more valve covers, or really ghetto-fy these, but I don't want to ghetto-fy it. I want it to be nice and a good, reliable stuff. So I'm gonna look for 2 more valve covers. But in the meantime, I'm going to go back over here to the Bonneville since it has stopped raining once again. And so I'm gonna pop this hood back open and keep working on getting this stuff torn apart. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright, you guys, so I'm back under the hood. So I'm about to start getting this thing all disconnected. I got to get this bracket off and get the rear manifold off, and then I can pull that valve cover, unbolt the head, got to unbolt that EGR. So y'all stay tuned, I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got the rear exhaust manifold disconnected except for the EGR. I just unbolted it from the head so it's loose. So now I've just got to get my head bolts down here undone, and the ones inside the head. And once I get them all out, then I'll be able to pull the head off and get the head out of here and start getting everything all cleaned up and ready to go back together with the new head gaskets and everything. So, and then I still got to swap all these valve seals and everything like I did the front head. So y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna get this head out of here, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, y'all, so I was able to get the rear head off. Had to fight it, but got it off. It's so nasty and oily, so it definitely needs some valve seals and needs some shit done, needs cleaned up. So all the valves look like they're seating good. I think it's just the valve seals were leaking out of the exhaust, and then it was leaking out, plus the combination of that valve cover gasket. But it's out of there, so now it's just going to be getting all this head mating surfaces cleaned up, getting all the fluid out. I got to drain the oil. Well, the oil pan, it's oil and coolant now. But yeah, I got to get all this all cleaned up and get everything drained, and probably try to rinse this out with some fresh oil or something. And I don't know, I might end up just pulling the engine out using these head bolts and just tighten them down in there a little bit. We've done it before, shouldn't hurt it. So now I just got to get the cherry picker over here so I can actually pull the engine completely out. But that'll be for another day. I think for now I'm just going to get the head and all this stuff over to the power washer and power wash this head and this valve cover and get them cleaned up. And I know I'm still going to have to try to find another set of valve covers, but I guess for now these are just going to have to work because that's what I've got.
Does this one have cracks in it too?
No, it's got that hole in it.
Oh, it has a hole from that long bolt.
And I did soak all the push rods and wipe them down So they're kind of half-ass cleaned up. 3 or 4 of them could use cleaned up a little bit better, but they're way better than what they were. So I'm going to go get this head and this valve cover cleaned up, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I got the head all power washed and cleaned up. Sprayed it down with that cleaner and let it set for a few minutes. Cleaned up pretty good. So I got all that grease and oil and gunk off of it. So now I'm about to do the same thing. I'm about to use my tool here with one of the rocker bolts and get all these valve springs popped off and replace all these valve seals with the other ones here. And then there's the newer retainers, and I'm going to swap out all the retainers, clean up the locks, and reuse the locks and reuse the springs. So I'm going to grab this rocker bolt, start getting these pulled out of here, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, first one is off. I've already got the old valve seal out right there. Nasty. So I'm about to wipe down this spring, get it all cleaned up, grab one of the other retainers there, and he's cleaning up the valve locks, and then I'll get it all put back together with this nail bar valve spring compressor tool. So y'all stay tuned, I'll give you guys another update. Alright, y'all, so first one's done, about to move on to the second one. And then I have a rag underneath this one compression chamber on the bottom side of the head, so that holds these 2 valves in. And then once you get these 2 done, you have to move the rag to the middle, and then you can do these 2, and then the last ones you move it over here and you can do these 2. So I'm about to get this one done, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, y'all, so David got the 3rd valve spring off and the valve locks off, so he had to run home. So I'm gonna finish this one up, and I just gotta clean all this up, replace the valve seal, get all that cleaned up down there where the spring's gonna sit down in here. Been cleaning all that up, putting a dab of fresh oil on my finger and just running it around the bottom of the spring, and then putting the spring on, pop the retainer, and get the locks on by using the tool there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one cleaned up and back together and move on to the next one and try to get all 6 of these knocked out and get this head complete. So y'all stay tuned, I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got both heads are all nice and cleaned up, wire wheeled, all surfaces. Got the head mating surfaces all nice and cleaned up on both heads. So everything's nice and clean. Got new valve seals on all the valves on both heads. Got the lower intake manifold sides wire wheeled and cleaned up. Also, I wire wheeled out. On this one, I wire wheeled the spark plug holes and the injector holes. I still gotta do this rear head, I guess. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't on this one yet. So I gotta clean up those 6 holes there with the little wire wheel, and it'll be good to go. And maybe get some of this crap off here. I noticed on this rear head it didn't clean up as nice, but the front head, all that gunk came off around all the cylinders. So I guess I'm gonna finish up the rear head, and then they'll both be done, and then I can start wire wheeling the engine block and getting gaskets copper sprayed and start getting stuff back together once I get the block cleaned up. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll give you guys another update here shortly. Alright, you guys, so I've got the rear one nice and cleaned up now, and the spark plug holes and the injector holes. So now everything's nice and cleaned up. So now I can go start cleaning up the engine mating surfaces on the engine in the car. So I'm about to, I guess, just set these up over here out of the way and go start cleaning up the car, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got my ratchet with the 24 on it. I've been spinning it over, just trying to get all the coolant and crap out of the cylinders. And just wiping it down with the rag. Just trying to clean everything up as best I can with the rag before I go hardcore with the wire wheel. I just want to get as much of the loose shit as I can. I mean, the cylinders are looking pretty good. That one's got a little bit of scoring in there. But it's alright, the car runs good, so I'm just gonna put it back together. I'm gonna clean this up, get it put back together, do an oil change, and see how she runs. So I am losing daylight though, so I probably only got like another 15 or 20 minutes of daylight. So I'm probably going to just try to get this cleaned up as best as I can. And then whenever I get off work tomorrow, then I'll come home and do the, reinstall, put it all back together. And cross fingers, hope everything works well. And as long as it does, then I can go ahead and just pull the engine out completely and get that rear main seal and pull the timing cover off and do the front seal and the timing cover gasket and the water pump gasket with a new water pump. Just make sure everything's good to go. I have another timing cover that's cleaner than this one, and I'll probably just spray it down with the power washer, just clean it up as best I can and swap that out and get this thing put back together and see how she does. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update before I get everything put up for the night. Alright, you guys, so I've got it about halfway clean. I still got a wire wheel around this cylinder here, but I've got this all right here is all wire wheeled, and this bridge here is wire wheeled. Still gotta hit that one, gotta hit around this one. I still gotta get around the rear. So I think the rear is gonna be the trickiest part, is getting the wire wheel back in there. But I'll get it done, so y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna keep working on this thing. I still got some daylight left, so I'm gonna keep working until the sun goes down, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, you guys, so I got the front is all wire wheeled and all cleaned up and ready for copper spray and new gasket, and so is the rear. I even got some of the exhaust manifold with the wire wheel. So, but I've got everything all nice and cleaned up. I guess I'm ready to grab these head gaskets, get them copper sprayed, get them set on here in place, and start getting this thing put back together. So I guess I'm gonna go grab this rear head and pull the valve cover off and grab this head gasket and the copper spray and get it sprayed, get it set in place, grab the new head bolts, get those in, start getting everything torqued down and put back together, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so David's helped me out a lot. Thank you again, David, by the way. Yeah, so we've got both of the new head gaskets copper sprayed, got them in place, got the heads on. I've RTV'd all the head bolts. These are all brand new head bolts. So all the head bolts are in. Oh, there we go.
Still need their final torques.
Yeah, they're just snugged right now. I still got to go through 30, 60, 90 and torque them all. But they are on. I had to slide this bracket on with the head because
It's kind of awkward.
yeah, I can't get it. This AC thing's in the way. So you either have to pull the studs out completely from the head or pull the head off to get this bracket off. Kind of stupid, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get these torqued down real quick. I've got the torque wrench right there, and then I have another one in the trunk just in case that one breaks. And so yeah, I'm about to get both these heads torqued down, and then that's probably all I'm going to do for tonight. I'm going to get everything picked up and I'll deal with the rockers and everything else tomorrow in the daylight, because as you can see, it's dark. It's almost 8 o'clock. It's been dark for like a good 45 minutes, and David's just been holding the flashlight for me. So I'm going to get these torqued down real quick, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got both heads torqued, 30, 60, 90. So that's all I'm doing for tonight. I'm about to just take these valve covers and plop them on here, and throw some rags over the lower intake, and start getting everything picked up. And I'll pick up on this tomorrow after I get off work. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update tomorrow. Alright, you guys, so I've got most of the tools all picked up. I've got the engine covered up with some paper towels and those couple pieces of cardboard. The head gaskets came in just to kind of keep shit from falling in the engine. So I'm about to shut this hood down and probably go inside and take a shower and eat something and just chill for probably like an hour, get ready for bed. And then I'll give you guys another update tomorrow whenever I get off work. So y'all have a good night. I'll catch you tomorrow. Hey YouTube, so it is Wednesday and I just got home from work. It's about 5:30. So having some issues with the 06. Keeps dying again. I don't know what the fuck's the deal with it. It's like it's been doing great for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and now all of a sudden it wants to die on a 20-minute drive home. So I don't know what the hell's going on with the trans or with the car, but I feel like it has something to do with the transmission. So I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna keep driving it until it's completely dead. But so I made a lot of progress on this thing yesterday. Got the head gaskets on, got the heads all cleaned up, got everything, well, got both the heads back on and torqued down 30, 60, 90. So now I've got to pop the valve covers back off, get the push rods installed, get the rockers installed, which I'm using a different set of rockers that are a lot cleaner than the ones that were on it. And yeah, I'm going to get this thing back together, get all these rockers all tightened down and torqued down, and then get the lower intake cleaned up, replace that little gasket that goes right here on the side, that coolant passage. So I got to replace that, and then I can start getting everything all put back together. And at least it might be running tonight, but more than likely it's probably going to be tomorrow. But I'm going to try to get as much done tonight as possible, because I have a lady that's interested in the transmission for her Bonneville SSEI. And so I just want to show her that it shifts and everything and runs good. And as long as I can show her it runs and shifts good and everything, then she wants the transmission plus me to do the swap for her. So it's at least one thing. So I'm going to try to get this thing back together, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, you guys, so I've already got all the front rockers and push rods and everything are in. It's torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. Now I'm getting the rears in. You can see that plate's much cleaner than that one that came out. You've seen it. It was nasty. And then I've got all the push rods all cleaned up. They're not in the exact same order, but I'm changing all the rockers, so it doesn't matter. These rockers have been sitting in this oil soaking for like 2 months. So they should be nice and soaked and ready to go. So I'm going to grab these last 6 rockers, get them on here. The bolts are right there. And get these things on and torqued down, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so got all the rear rockers back on, torqued down, 35 foot-pounds. So I'm about to grab my ratchet and the 24mm socket and just spin it over. I'm probably going to pop these front 3 spark plugs out as well. That way I can just spin it over, make sure everything's working correctly. I'll probably pull the front valve cover back off also. I just want to make sure all of them are moving like they're supposed to and everything's working correctly. And then I'll pop them back on and start on the lower intake manifold. It's sitting over on the trunk of the parts car. I still got to wire wheel it all, clean it, get the old Supercharger gasket pieces off of it. So I'm going to keep working on this thing, trying to get this thing jammed out. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so everything's looking good. Turn it over. All of them are moving like they're supposed to. I'm not feeling any binding. Everything's looking great. So I'm about to get both of the valve covers put on. I've still got to patch the hole in the rear valve cover. But other than that, everything should go together and should just work how it's supposed to. So fingers crossed, we have no issues. So I'm going to go ahead and get the valve covers put back on. Get some RTV over that hole on the rear valve cover. And start getting this thing put back together. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so I've got both valve covers back on. I've got the hole RTV'd up. So that setting, I just got the lower intake manifold gaskets on. This one had a tiny little rip, so I put some RTV on there. It should be okay. So I'm gonna get this thing, I've got to go wire wheel the lower intake manifold and get it all cleaned up, get that old gasket off, and here, I'll just show you. Because it's pretty nasty. Yeah, I've got to get this thing all cleaned up, and I have to be careful not to break the coolant sensor. Yeah, I've got to get all this old supercharger gasket piece off, and I just need to wire wheel this whole surface, get everything cleaned up. I need to get the old lower intake manifold mating surfaces all wire wheeled and cleaned up, and these bridge surfaces for those lower intake gaskets. And gotta pop this door off, get that all wire wheeled, get the new gasket on there and RTV'd, and then after that I think should be good to go. So I'm gonna work on getting this all cleaned up and try to beat the daylight, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so made a lot of progress. So lower intake manifold is all wire wheeled, all cleaned up. All the mating surfaces are going to be nice and clean. So I got this little cap pulled off, scraped off all the old gasket, wire wheeled that, got that new gasket on and RTV. That's tight. I've got a brand new gasket for the thermostat. Lots of progress. So now I've got to get some RTV in all four corners. I'm going to go ahead and go around that cooling jacket since I ripped that gasket a little bit right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and completely RTV around that one and these four corners and across the bridge, and get this lower intake manifold set on here and start getting it bolted down. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so lower intake manifold is on and torqued down to 35 foot-pounds. So everything is looking good. So now I've got to grab the supercharger gasket and get that slapped on there. And I still have to wire wheel down the bottom side of the supercharger. So I'm probably not going to be able to set it on here because it's pretty much dark now. Sun's down. But still made a lot of progress, so that's good. So I'll probably grab the supercharger gasket and just set it on there. And I might go ahead and put on the new thermostat gasket and everything and get the thermostat back on there. But man, it's coming together, making lots of progress. So y'all stay tuned, keep you guys updated. Alright y'all, so we got the thermostat housing, the bottom side wire wheeled, got the new gasket on a 195 thermostat, got it RTV'd, it's in there, and like I said, that's probably as far as I'm going to make it for tonight. So I'm going to start getting all the tools and everything pick up all my trash, get it thrown away, and I'll probably just put something over this just for the night so shit don't fall down in the engine. And look at there, looking good. It's like nice match. But yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight. So y'all stay tuned, I'll give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so Tommy helped me and we scraped all the old supercharger gasket off, and I hit everything over real good with the wire wheel. Get the damn cat hair out. But yeah, I went over everything on the bottom with the wire wheel, got everything nice and clean. It's all nice and shiny to a machined finish, even though it's just wire wheeled. But man, looks good. So should be ready to go to get thrown back on the Bonneville tomorrow. So I still have to pull the throttle body off. I gotta wire wheel that down, have a new throttle body gasket. And that's probably going to be it. I might slightly go over it with the wire wheel just to try to clean it up, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that. So, yep, that's probably going to be it for tonight. So, y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update tomorrow.